Hello students, today we are starting with the new subtopic in physics, and that is the electromagnetism section. Now in electromagnetism section, basically we have to study about the electricity and magnetism. That is the first chapter we are studying. The name of this chapter is electric charges and fields. That means this chapter is related, or in short we can say that this is the electrostatics. But before starting this chapter, we will go towards the history of this electrostatics. Now here up to this time you may have heard the word electricity and magnetism, and it was considered that they are the separate subject. Electricity and magnetism are the separate subject. Then in case of electricity, we study the electric charges. Then we are studying the batteries, lightning in the sky, and these concepts are studied in electricity. That is charges at rest position. When the charges are in motion, what is the effect produced by them? Then the lightning in the sky. These are the various concepts which we study in electricity. But the word magnetism, it is related with the magnet and the properties of the magnet. Then what is the meaning of magnetic dipole? What is how the ion filling get attracted towards the magnet? Then the compass needle and various magnetic phenomena we have to study in magnetism. That means it was considered that the electricity and magnetism, these are the two separate subjects. But later on there was one scientist, and the name of that scientist is a Danish scientist Ørsted. The name of that scientist is Ørsted. Now what is this Ørsted's experiment? Ørsted's experiment. Now why I have to explain this Ørsted's experiment? This is a very simple experiment. I will show this experiment here. Now suppose this is a metal wire, and at the two ends of metal wire the battery is connected. This is a battery. The current I flows. When the current I flows through this wire, this is the wire AB. When current is flowing through this wire, the magnetic needle which is kept near it, this magnetic needle, it shows the deflection. That means here when the current is flowing through this wire AB, the magnetic needle which is kept near it, it shows the deflection. Now then there is a question, why the magnetic needle shows the deflection? And here we know the basic property of the magnet. When the like poles come together, they will repel each other, and when the unlike poles are together, they will attract each other. Now here in this case, when the current is flowing, only that time the magnetic needle shows the deflection, and it shows that this current I, it produces a magnetic field in its surrounding space. This current I produces a magnetic field in its surrounding space. That means a small conclusion drawn from this Ørsted's experiment is that an electric current produces a magnetic field. This is the first experiment. That is, what is the conclusion? Here I will write the conclusion. Electric current produces magnetic field. That means it produces magnetic field in its surrounding space. This is the first thing, electric current produces magnetic field. Then the next scientist, that is the Maxwell and Faraday, they perform the experiment to find whether the magnetic field can produce the electric current. That is, they try to find the opposite thing now. They try to find whether the magnetic field can produce the electric current, and they found that the changing magnetic field can produce the electric current. Changing magnetic field can produce the electric current. That means here whenever there is a change of magnetic field, changing magnetic field, I will show you the diagram here. Changing magnetic field, not the constant. This word is very important here. Changing magnetic field produces electric current. Now what is this experiment then? This experiment is same, that is, suppose the two coils, they are kept near each other. These are the two coils to which the rheostat key and battery is connected like this. This is a key, this is a variable resistance RH, and the another coil is kept near it. That time you will find that, and this coil, it is connected to the galvanometer. Galvanometer is a device which is used to measure the current flowing through the circuit, and when this key is closed, that time there is a change in magnetic field of the first coil, and it will cause to produce the electric current in a neighboring coil. That means this is called the electromagnetic induction. Later on we are going to study in detail about the concept of electromagnetic induction. That means these are the two different phenomena. The first phenomenon produces in Ørsted's experiment, the electric current produces magnetic field. In Faraday's experiment, the changing magnetic field produces the electric current. And so that these two experiments shows that the electricity and magnetism, they are not the different phenomenon. They are not the different subjects. They are one and the same, and by combining this, the concept of electricity and magnetism, there is a one sub branch of physics, and that is the electromagnetism. Electromagnetism is the sub branch of the physics. That means basically up to this time, if you have studied the chapters from the 11th and 12th from our CBSE portion, the some chapters, they are related to the sound, thermodynamics and the general physics, that is the mechanics. And now the some of the chapters, they are related with the electrostatics, current electricity, electromagnetic induction and the magnetic effects of the electric current and so on. And then again the semiconductors and the communication. That means basically for your understanding, the physics is classified under the 4-5 sections we have to study up to the 12 only. Mechanics, sound, then heat section, then the light section, then electromagnetism and the modern physics, that is the semiconductor and telecommunication. These are the various sub branches of physics, and in each sub branch of physics we have to study that particular phenomenon related with the physics in detail. So that here, before starting our chapter electric charges and fields, we must know what is the meaning of the electromagnetism and how it is related with our chapter, and that's why we have explained this. Now then we have to start with the concept of the electric charges and field. Now here, before starting this concept, we have to go towards our everyday life. Now in our everyday life we use electricity. Without electricity our life is impossible, and we use the electricity for various purposes in our house. That is, in the evening time, night time, we have to use the light to we have to use the electricity. Then the secondly, we can use the various electrical appliances at home, and these electrical appliances, they are working on the electricity. That means electricity means it is the charges in motion. When we on the button, the electric current flows through it. When we off the button, the current stops at that point. That means it is very simple. That is, our luxurious and comfortable life totally depends upon the electricity. Without electricity, imagine what will happen if the electricity is not there. And the electricity, it is a very important for us. Now then, this is a current electricity. Current means it is in motion. When the charges are in motion, it is called as a current electricity. Later on we have to study that chapter also. But what is the electric charges only? And this is related with the concept of electrostatics. Now, electrostatics means the study of electricity at rest. It is called electrostatics. That means here we must know the meaning of electrostatics and current electricity. Then we have to go in detail about this electrostatics. Electrostatics, this word you must know the exact meaning of electrostatics. It is the study of electricity. Study of electricity at rest is called electrostatics. And current electricity, later on next chapter we have to consider current electricity. It is the study of electricity at when the charges are in motion. That is, it is the study of electricity in motion. In motion. This is the basic difference between the at rest and in motion. That is, electrostatics deals with the study of electric charges at rest position, while current electricity studies the electricity in motion, that is, charges are in motion. Now, basically in this chapter we have to study about the first part. That is the first part, it is the study of electricity in rest position. Now this is important. Now then we have to go in about the history of these electric charges. And what is the history of this? How the electric charges are produced? Nowadays we say that the electric charge is produced and every appliances or every electrical circuit, it has a two terminals, positive terminal and negative terminal. And what is the meaning of this? Now we will go towards the history of the electrostatics. Now before, that means around 600 BC, that is before Christ, the Thales of Miletus, this was a name of the, I will write the name of that person is Thales of Miletus. He was a wise man in Greek. He was a wise man in Greek. Now there will be a question how he was a wise man, because that time, at that around 600 BC, in Greek country there was considered the 7 wise men. And this Thales of Miletus, he was one of the wise man among 7 in Greek. Among 7 in Greek. One of the wise man among 7. How many wise men are there? 7. And this Thales of Miletus, he was one of the wise man in Greek. And he stated that he observed when amber is rubbed with wool, it acquires a property of attracting light object towards it. What is his observation? Amber, when rubbed with wool, it attracts light object towards it. Now, which are the light objects then? The small pieces of paper, this is a light objects. And when the amber is rubbed with the wool, it will attract the light objects towards it. Now then, this was his observation. Then after this observation of Thales of Miletus, nearly 2000 years pass. And after 2000 years, that means at the end of 16th century, there was one physician, and the name of that physician was William Gilbert. William Gilbert, he was not a scientist, he was a physician of Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth I. in UK, in England, the William Gilbert, he was a physician. Physician means he was a doctor of a Queen Elizabeth. He observed that not only the amber but the other substances, various substances are there, when they are rubbed with each other, they have a property to attract the light pieces or light objects towards it. That is what is the observation of this William Gilbert. He showed that the amber, along with the amber, there are several other substances, and when they are rubbed with suitable substance, they exhibit a property of attracting light objects towards it. And to explain his point, what is his point? Not only the amber, but there are various substances in nature. When they are rubbed on a suitable substance, they attract the light objects towards it. That is his conclusion. And to explain his conclusion, he showed a small experiment, and in that he has taken a glass rod. Glass rod, when it is rubbed with silk cloth. Glass rod rubbed with silk. Try to imagine this experiment. Take a glass rod is taken and it is rubbed with silk. Then secondly, he showed that ebonite rod, when it is rubbed with fur, not silk now, it is fur. Fur means it may be a cat's fur. And now he showed that these two experiments, it attracts the light objects towards it. When glass rod rubbed with silk or ebonite rod rubbed with fur, they will attract the light objects towards it. Now in Greek language, amber is called as the electron. Amber is called as the electron, and so that the Gilbert named this phenomenon as electricity. This Gilbert, he named this phenomenon as electricity, and the study of electric charges at rest position is called electrostatics. That means Gilbert shows that there must be charges on the glass rod or ebonite rod, and because of this charge they will attract the light objects towards it. This is the conclusion of the Gilbert. And this phenomenon, as it is related with the electric charges, it is called the electrostatics. That means the definition of the electrostatics is same. The study of electricity or study of electric charges at rest position is called electrostatics. Then the nextly we have to consider about the concept of electric charges, how the electric charges are produced and how they are produced and what is their nature. And so that we have to start with the next article, that is the electric charges. Electric charges. Now what is the meaning of electric charges? Again we have to take the same example to explain our point, and that example is when ebonite rod is rubbed with fur, that is particular substance, or glass rod is rubbed with silk, they have a property of attracting light objects towards it. And it is observed that these rods, which rod? Glass rod and ebonite rod, they have electric charges on it. They have electric charges on it, and because of these electric charges, the light objects get attracted towards it. But here, for the experiment, he has taken a 2 glass rod. Instead of taking the 2 glass one, he has taken a 2 glass rod. And these 2 glass rods simultaneously, when they are rubbed on silk cloth, and then these 2 glass rods, they are taken together. it was observed that these two glass rods, they start repelling each other. They start going away from each other. Now, what is our first observation? The first observation is that the glass rod is rubbed with silk cloth. Then single glass rod, it will attract the light objects towards it. That means the charges may be present on this glass rod. Then the second thing is that the two glass rods are taken when they are rubbed on a silk cloth, and when they are taken together, that time they will start repelling each other. And this shows that the charges which are produced on this glass rod, they may be of the same type. Then the second experiment is also taken. Instead of glass rod, ebonite rod is taken, and these two ebonite rod, when they are rubbed with fur, again they are taken together. The same observation is there. The two ebonite rod, they will try to go away from each other. That means they will repel each other. They are repelling each other. Now the third time, the one glass rod is taken and one ebonite rod is taken. Firstly, the glass rod is rubbed with silk cloth and ebonite rod is rubbed with fur, and when the glass rod and ebonite rod are taken together, it was observed that these two rods, they attract each other. They trying to come towards each other. And these are the observations by this small experiment. But these observations shows that the charges on the ebonite rod must be of the different types than the glass rod. But this third experiment shows that the charges which are produced on the glass rod, they must be of the different type than the ebonite rod. Then how it happens? Which charges are produced from this? Now try to remember one thing is that here the charges are produced on the glass rod or ebonite rod only after rubbing on a silk cloth or fur. That means without rubbing there was no charges on the glass rod and ebonite rod. And these electric charges are produced on the rods because of the friction, and so that this is also called the frictional electricity. The charges produced on the glass rod or ebonite rod are due to the friction, and hence it is called the frictional electricity. Now then, here just we have stated the two glass rods, they repel each other. Two ebonite rod repels each other, but one glass rod and one ebonite rod will attract each other, and the reason behind this is that the charges on these two rods, they may be of the opposite or different nature. Then which charges? What is the name of these charges? And to give the name of these charges, an American physicist Benjamin Franklin, American physicist, name of that physicist is Benjamin Franklin. Now what is the work of this scientist? This Benjamin Franklin, he gave the name that the charges on the glass rod are positive. The charges which are produced on the glass rod are positive, and the charges which are produced on the ebonite rod are negative. That means he has given the names. And then we can say that this leads to the conclusion that the like charges repel each other while unlike charges attract each other. Like charges, like means same. Two glass rods repel each other. That means on the two glass rod the charges may be of the same type, and that is the positive charges. Benjamin Franklin gave the name to these charges, and he stated that the charges which are produced on the glass rod are positive. and the charges which are produced on the ebonite rod are negative. And this small experiment shows that the like charges repel each other and unlike charges attract each other. Now, how this experiment is shown? By this, I will show you the diagram of this experiment. How that means what is the conclusion drawn by this? That is, with the charge on glass rod. Glass rod, it has a positive charges, and ebonite rod, it has a negative charges on it, right? Then conclusion is like charges repel each other and unlike charges attract each other. This is the conclusion drawn by Benjamin Franklin. That means here like charges means both charges are positive and positive, or it may be negative or negative, right? But unlike charges is one charge is positive, other charge is negative. And how this can be explained by a simple experiment, I will show you the diagram. Now here, suppose this is a glass rod. This glass rod, and here the silk cloth is wrapped like this. I will show this is the silk cloth, and this is a silk thread. Silk thread is there. This is the silk cloth. It is rubbed on this glass rod so that glass rod becomes positively charged, right? This is the first. Now the second glass rod, when it is kept near this first rod, that is, this is also the glass rod, that means it has a positive charges, it shows that they will repel each other. Here two positive charges are there, so that here if we consider the two charges are like this, the first charge is positive, second is the positive, and they will go away from each other. This is the repulsion between the two charges. This is I have shown this diagram for the glass rod. This is also the glass rod. Now try to understand. The first glass rod is taken. It is rubbed on a silk cloth, and it will be this charge. The charges produced on this glass rod is positive. When another glass rod is taken near it, it shows the repulsion. It will try to go away from the rod, and so that they will try to repel each other. Now secondly, instead of this, the plastic rod is taken. This is a plastic rod, and again the silk cloth is rubbed on it. Silk cloth is rubbed. This is the silk cloth. It is connected by the silk thread, and so that this is as it is a plastic rod, the negative charges are produced. When another plastic rod is kept near it, it has also the negative charges. It will show the repulsion. This is also the plastic rod. Try to understand this thing. Here, two glass rods, they will repel each other. Two plastic rods, they will also repel each other, because the charges produced on this plastic rod, they are of the same type. Now in the third case, what will happen? The glass rod is common here, and it is wrapped with a silk cloth. This is a silk thread. The charges produced on this. Now the another, that is, this is the plastic rod which is kept near it, which has a negative charges, and it shows that they will attract each other. This is a glass rod, I have to show this is plastic rod. That means here this glass rod and plastic rod, they will attract each other. Here they will repel. That means for this diagram also the two negative charges are there. They will show the repulsion. This is the diagram for first thing. This diagram is for the second. Now for the third thing, if the pith balls are taken, I have to show this for this diagram, and it is like this. One charge is positive and other is negative. They will attract each other. One is positive, other is negative. So that here, instead of rods, if the pith balls are taken, pith ball means it is the glass sphere, it is called as a pith ball. If they are taken like this, they will try to come together. They will attract each other. And this small experiment shows that the like charges repel each other and unlike charges attract each other. This is the small experiment.